Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Tea with the Druid. My name is Philip Carr-Gomm, and Tea with the Druid is brought to you by the Order of Bards, Ovates, and Druids. Now, this episode is pre-recorded because I have two very special guests that I want to introduce you to. And let me begin by telling you, last summer solstice, I was in Glastonbury and I saw a notice in the window saying, Glastonbury, the only place where you can buy soap that cleans your aura. And I thought that was a wonderful message. And a little later in the year, I was introduced to a project which was getting us close to that ideal, which was that Lush were going to make soaps that were geared to match the solstices and the equinoxes, based on the art of Jamie Reed, who I was working with on a book that's just come out last month. And so this project was developed over a year or so, and I was in Waterloo Station a few days ago, and I discovered this. I looked in the local Lush store, and there was the book that Jamie and I and John Marchant and Stephen Elcock had worked on, which is a lovely compilation of Jamie's artwork and an introduction with John and Stephen, by John and Stephen. And then I talk about the various festivals in the Druid Wheel of the Year. And there's the display in Lush in Waterloo with the book and with the soaps. And you see their iconic sort of loaves of soap, which then get sliced up for you and you buy it like buying cheese or something. And they smell fantastic and they look utterly extraordinary, because when you look through the book, you see that the images in the book are reproduced in soap. So now I thought, well, it's high time we actually talked to the people responsible for this wonderful thing, and here they are. Oh no, hang on. Here they are, Mo, Constantine, and Wesley. And hi there, hi. So thank you so much for appearing on Tea with the Druid. Tell us about yourselves. What do you both do? What are you up to?
I'm Mo Constantine. I'm one of the founders of Lush, that is often described as the soap shop, but we do have a lot of other products, bath bombs, etc. And we've been in existence we've got our 30th anniversary next year. So, you know, we're long-term in it for life kind of people doing it. And my specialty, I've got two specialties in the product range. One is soaps and one is the bath bombs. Wesley's my lovely sidekick. Well, I don't know. We don't know what to call him, because he's one of those people who came into work about 25.
I've been here for nearly 30 years too. So
and he still comes in.
Yeah.
So
I was here at year 1. I'm here still at year 29.
Very nice.
I work on new products, working on developing new products and researching materials and working with the founders to get their ideas into a reality.
Lovely.
Fantastic. And of course, one of your strong points is your environmental awareness, isn't it? And your approach to packaging and so on, that you try to be.
Yeah, we do have, we've always, right from the get-go, thought about our ethics and the supply of our materials. As you say, the packaging or lack of. We got an award for lack of packaging one year.
That's fantastic, isn't it?
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? And of course, you were the first business, I think, to pull out of Facebook, which was extraordinary.
Yeah, that you can say about that, maybe. You've
Not
never been in it.
No, I've never been on any social media. I don't think we have any kind of social media presence, really, other than like YouTube, I suppose you could call social media to an extent.
But that was a very brave move to pull out of Facebook when all the questions around the ethics of Facebook were being raised. Yeah. That was really remarkable.
But it felt safer to do that. There was so much linked to suicide and you know, people getting completely hooked on it, and so we made a decision that, you know, the top level, the founders, if you like, thought, no, we're going to bite the bullet. We're going to stop this and see what happens. And it's been all right, hasn't it? People haven't really complained.
Yeah. Within the company itself, there's a sort of a certain amount of concern, wasn't there, about how we were going to communicate with customers and the public. But you have to work around it. If you decided to make a stand against the position that we found ourselves in with social media, then you have to just find different ways of doing your work and working around it.
Yeah, fantastic. So tell me, how did this project start? What's the story behind these soaps?
Well, I blame you, really, Philip. I think that. So we had an ongoing collaboration with Simon Emerson, the lovely musician who sadly died, and he used to do the artwork for we have spas based on a lot of our ethics and lovely things going on, and so he used to do the artwork for and the music for those spas, and that was going on for years, and then and he worked with Mark on that. And then they obviously, we lost both Simon and I've forgotten his name, Jamie. But we wanted to carry on with what they'd done, and so Mark had Simon, beg your pardon, had bought a package of all Jamie's artwork and images for different album covers, and that arrived one day in the lab, which was extraordinary. Mark opened it up and he said, I don't know what to do with this. And so we started to get these glorious A4 images out onto the table. And then I said, well, they look like soaps to me, because they did.
That was it. You made the connection there, or you made the idea. Yeah.
So, and then, unfortunately, with those kind of moments, once you've said that, you've got to do it. You can't just go back and say, so we'll just do a plate instead, So, so we started to work on, this is a royal we. We've got a lovely additional team of people who flesh out what we've done. So I'd gone in with the original thought, and then we got it made, didn't we?
Yeah, well, you started on it with Jack, didn't you? Working on colours and
my son
to replicate.
Yes, he'd been trying to get along with he's wanted to learn soaps for a while, and I said, well, let's do these together, because we didn't know what we were doing, and I hadn't made it for quite a long time. In the lockdown, it was quite a fallow period. You didn't really get together and do things, and this was a beginning of doing that again, which was lovely. And so he worked. He was my student for a little while. He'll hate me for saying that, but you've got to learn somehow, haven't you? And he's great. And he's he's all about colour. So, I needed colours in the soaps. He could do that. So he originated all of that and made it very lovely. So, yeah.
That's fantastic. Because tell me, I'm going to ask you a secret now. Is lots of Lush stuff looks like it's edible? Was that a conscious sort of decision, as it were?
Absolutely not. And I mean, the authorities come down on you very hard if you make anything that looks edible. So
I often, do you know, I'm going to make a public confession here that I once licked a bar of soap. I was sitting in the bath and I looked at it, this looks and smells so edible, and I knew it was a mad thing to do. But I just gave it a little lick, and of course discovered that it's not in the slightest.
Yeah, you're not the only one, though. I mean, plenty of people do try and eat the products. Staff in the company, I know people in the company that had made a point of sort of trying various products because they like the smell of them so much that they don't actually try and tasting them.
Yes,
but smell and taste are very different senses, and
yes, that's right.
It doesn't necessarily taste good. Yeah.
Well, of course, in a way, you might be working with synesthesia, which I know Simon Emerson was very keen on, And in fact, I think one of your treatments is called synesthesia, isn't it? In the spa, a spa treatment. For those of you who don't know it, a lot of people don't know when I talk to them that Lush have these spa treatments that are really magical. And I worked on a couple of them. I was sort of invited in through Simon and had meetings at your place in Poole and so on. And it was very impressive to see the amount of care you took as a company in developing something. There were various meetings and so on to develop these different spa treatments. Okay, so that's how it came about. So in the lockdown, you started to play with the colors and presumably that's when you landed on four images.
They landed on us, I
think
think.
the images came first, didn't they, with you?
Yes. Yeah. These are exact copies of images that were in the box.
Right.
And I keep doing this because it was an A4 size box, and it's lovely things, and it's got a full description on each one of what time of the year it is and what the inspirations are for that particular equinox, and and it's really lovely. So we've got a lot of background information from that to get us going. And inspiration from that, didn't we?
Yeah, the four images themselves were four images that Jamie did of the 2 equinoxes and the 2 solstices. So
they were already there, as it were. And how did you choose the ingredients?
That was kind of given to me as a job. So I should probably explain a little bit that I do kind of have a long history of celebrating equinoxes and solstices.
Great.
And I've been going to Stonehenge for I think this is 40th year. Next year will be my 40th consecutive solstice there.
Wow.
So I kind of have this long history and interest in Stonehenge and the celebration of events there. And over the years, I've kind of collected a lot of books, of which I have a big pile of books about Druids. And those were my source material for the ingredients to use in the soaps. And what I found was, as you probably know, that with Druidry being an oral tradition, not actually very much information about what the Druids did, what plants they used, and what they used them for. So information about that is actually quite thin on the ground. And taking it further, finding ingredients within that list of ingredients that would be suitable to use in products limited our choices again. So we kind of ended up with like 3 or 4 ingredients for each soap that worked quite well, tied in nicely with solstices and equinoxes, and made lovely soap ingredients too.
Oh, lovely. Are you able to give an example of
the ingredients? Yes. So if we take the spring soap, for example, the ingredients we particularly used there were blackberry leaf, mallow leaf, and strawberries.
Oh, lovely.
So blackberry leaf is traditionally used to make poultices. And this is something that the Druids would have used at the time and were mentioned in like secondhand sources, I suppose. I guess most of the information came from like Roman sources or
right.
Not necessarily associated with Druids, but knew of them and knew about their lifestyle and culture. But not necessarily as accurate as first-hand sources.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
So we have blackberry leaf, we have mallow leaf in there as well, which is an ingredient that's used to soothe burns and wounds. And I put some strawberries in there as well, because the wild strawberries are kind of like a food source at that time of year. What I was trying to do is trying to link in all the ingredients that were used in the soaps with traditional Celtic customs and agricultural practices and Druid ceremonies. So all those things are kind of feeding in at the same time to limit or to isolate particular ingredients that we wanted to use.
That's fantastic. Do you have a few more examples from another?
Sure, yeah. So the summer soap that we've got on sale at the moment, summer solstice soap, contains I don't know. I told you all the ingredients for the springs for the summer soap at the start there. So I'll go to the spring one again now. Beg your pardon.
Right.
We had colt's foot in the spring soap, which has been used mainly for treating coughs. But what it does is it produces a gel when you make an infusion with it, which is quite calming. And it kind of has moisturizing properties as well. So it's very useful in soaps. Also have oak flower in there as well, which
oak flower for the skin.
Really calming for the skin, but also sort of representing like spring planting of oats as an agricultural seasonal event.
How lovely! In fact, I've got an example of the spring soap here that I bought in the Lush store in Victoria Station, and smells very beautiful. And of course, the trouble is they look so nice, you don't want to use them. That's what a lot of people, we've given quite a few as gifts to friends. And I've met them, later, and I said, have you used them? They said, no, I don't want to because it looks so nice. But
use them to buy a big one. Just play that in our home. That's why we did the large ones, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So tell me, and of course, the obvious question that's going to come to everybody's mind is, how on earth do you make them? Is it like sort of making Brighton rock? How do you get the image to exist all the way along the block, as it were?
Well, it's a several part mould, isn't it? Sadly, we do have to use plastic moulds, but only on the origination. And so you can imagine that one you just held up with the clover leaf.
Yeah.
You can do the clover leaf as one part, and then, pop that into a bigger mould and coat it or cover it in the outer. I haven't described that very well because they do them en masse. They do hundreds of them, don't they, in the soap room, Merrick and those sort of people. So, so it's possible to do, and it's a technique that we have garnered over the last few years, which makes it very exciting.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Each of these soaps is made up of several different soaps, actually.
Yes.
Because within each of these soaps, so say you've got the clover there and the sort of coloured soaps around it. What happened when we did the formula was that some of the ingredients went into some parts of the soap, but not other parts. So you've got ingredients within specific areas of the soap,
right,
as well as a different set of colours that are used. They have the same perfume running all the way through, but different parts of the soap will have different ingredients and different effects. So they sort of all combine together to create the whole.
Right.
And when we make each of the components of the soaps, they will kind of have like a mixture of soaps within them as well. So say we take the summer solstice one with the large sun on it. That'll be like yellow and a red soap together, mixed up, which is poured into a round mold to create the sun. And then that sun will be put into the mold. Other soap poured around it. Then that's allowed to set. And then we'll take it out of the molds. And then we might decorate it further with some more soap. So it kind of gets built up over a period of time with a series of different soaps.
Yes, that's extraordinary, and I've been trying to visualize it in my mind as you speak, and it's really hard to imagine quite how it works. But in a way that adds to the magic of them, that they seem to have been made by magic, as it were. No, that's fantastic. And then people can buy as much as they like, and then they're literally cut off to how much you want.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah.
So they're sold initially in these. I don't know if I can do this, but
yeah, no, go for it.
These large blocks, and then you can just ask. It's like, well, I was going to say when you buy bacon, but it doesn't work like that anymore. Or cheese or something, you can just say, I'll have this much, and then someone will cut it for you and wrap it and send you home with it. So or you have this much would be even better.
Yes, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. And what's been lovely for us is that you decided that you'd like to display the Time for Magic book that's just come out alongside the soaps in all your shops. You've got a lot of shops, haven't you, now, all over the world? Is it?
All over the world, yes. Well, we've got about 80 in the UK, haven't we?
Yes, at the moment.
And I've lost count of in the world. Everything shifts in the
it's about 700-800 at the moment, I think.
Yes, yeah. So it's really nice.
It's lovely, and in fact, when I went into the Victoria Station Lush, the book wasn't there, and I asked the girl behind the counter, and she was reading it. She was saying, "I really like this book," and I said, "Well, that's great. I think it is supposed to be up with the soaps." And she said, "Yeah."
We do, didn't we? Because every time we wanted to find anything out about Jamie or look something up in the book, it was always missing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And the original prints that you had would always be missing as well. They're
under lock and key now because
literally,
that's the only set, so I think. And so we keep them hidden away.
That's fantastic. And how's the project going?
Well, incredibly well. I mean, this is our second soap, and that's out there obviously since the 21st, which is amazing. And then there's 2 more for the year, and I haven't thought any further than that. Have you?
No.
What happens we don't just want to do a rerun of that. We can continue with some other aspect of Jamie's work, and
we can move into the other 4 calendar points of the.
That would be fun to have same.
No, do we?
Yeah.
To tell us.
Palpitations.
Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic. It's lovely as well, actually, to have a product that sort of evolves around the year, so that which is the whole point of the eightfold wheel, is that things aren't static and fixed. They evolve and are cyclical. So it's nice that you've sort of got involved in that. So that's marvelous. Well, I would wish you
the seasonality and the freshness of products that we like as well. So, you know, being able to use ingredients that we know are themed in with that particular time of year that we're selling the products, it feels really good to us and natural to be able to make those links.
Yes, exactly. And I think it'll appeal to druids because they all a scruffy lot that need a good clean, and so I'm sure that lots of druids will buy the soap. And let's I wish you every success with the project. Thank you so much. And let's drop into a little meditation. Everybody who watches Tea with the Druid knows that we always finish with a meditation. The idea of Tea with the Druid is to create a calm moment in your week, a Monday evening where you can just drop into a bit of calm. And let's just do that. And the other thing I think that is important, meditation can be a rather serious affair, and we tend to sort of tense up when we think that we've got to meditate and we've got to be very serious and all the rest of it. But I believe that one can approach meditation in a very, very relaxed and even playful way, because that's healthy for the imagination. So Mo and Wesley, would you like to stay with us through the meditation? It'll just be 5 or 10 minutes.
Sure.
Be lovely. Yeah. Great.
Lovely. And then hang on afterwards when we've finished, and then we'll be back in the green room together and we can have a chat. So now, if I'd like to invite everyone, I'll just so that you can relax even more. Let's have a look here. So if you'd like to just relax, everyone, and just close your eyes or lower your gaze. You don't have to, but it helps usually, because as soon as you close your eyes, suddenly you've got much less data coming into your nervous system, and things can start to shift. First of all, become aware of being in your room, screen in front of you, the four walls around you, and the floor beneath you, ceiling above you. So you're fully present and aware in your room. Taking a slow, deep breath. Hold for a moment and breathe out fully and deeply. And as you breathe out, you might like to imagine that the walls and ceiling and floor are just starting to gently fade as you find yourself in a forest clearing. The sacred grove, this beloved place of the Druids, open to the sky and the stars, but surrounded by the protection of the trees. And just locate yourself within this grove, finding somewhere comfortable to sit and just be. And just start to open up to an awareness of the earth beneath you. And you can smell the earth. And even as you start to open to an awareness of the earth, you might find that you're able to sort of travel in your consciousness down into the earth, and to sense all the creatures, all the life in this earth beneath you. It's a noisy place, the earth. The scientists have started to put microphones down into the earth, and there's all sorts of noise from little creatures swooshing by, all sorts of interesting noises. So it's full of life and activity. And there's moisture there too, and you can feel the way the moisture is being pulled up by the roots of the trees that you're now aware of. The energy of the earth flowing up into the trunks of the trees and up into you. Breathing in deeply, sensing this flow up into your body and your energy field. You can just relax into an awareness of being seated on the earth, the energy of the earth energizing your body. and calming it too. As your breath starts to move to a rhythm of the earth, breathing in slowly, following the breath of the earth, becoming aware of the trees around you now, their protection, their strength, surrounded by our brothers and sisters, these beings whom we need in order to live on this earth. And as they breathe out oxygen, we breathe that oxygen in. And then becoming aware of the sky above us. And as you become aware of the sky, you breathe in the energy of the sky, which brings with it a vitality. And the energy of the sky meets the energy of the earth within the center of your being. And imagine now that you're in the clearing. And then let's just have some fun and just decide to bathe ourselves. You might just like to wash your hands or your face or your whole body. And just imagine now that as you open your inner eyes, there's a beautiful basin of water that someone has placed in front of you. And you're in the circle with lots of other people too. Everybody's having this experience together. And you see there's a lovely bar of soap there. And you remember reading about how in Glastonbury they offer you soap that cleans your aura. And of course, you know that that may not be true in the physical world, but in the world of the imagination, perhaps indeed such a thing exists. And you pick up the bar of soap and you dip it with your hands into the water and just feel the soap on your hands, this kind of smoothness of it, the smell of it. And you start to feel the soap coming off on your hands. And then just rub whatever part of your body you wish, just just imagine that you're perhaps cleaning your face or your arms and hands, just feeling the soap. And feeling how it works energetically, how it's not just your skin, but it's your energy field, because this is a magic soap. In the Jain tradition in India, there's this concept of a magic paste that you can rub on your feet that brings you supernatural powers. Perhaps you bathe your feet. Perhaps this soap works in the same way, and you wash your feet. And you imagine massaging your feet and then rinsing them with this warm water. There's a little towel. A towel has appeared. Somebody's kindly placed a towel, and you just allow yourself to dry your feet and your face, your hands. You close your inner eyes, feeling all sparkling and fresh. And then you, in your imagination, you just stretch your hand out to either side of you. And you take hold of the hands of the person to either side of you until you feel yourself holding hands in a circle with a group of people. As you're watching this, 400 or 500 people will be watching it too, and will be going through exactly this process at the time this is broadcast. And over time, it'll be many, many more people. And in other levels of reality and consciousness, this is happening in the inner world, in the world of the imagination. You're holding hands with a group of people of like mind. There's a sense of community here. Notice how you retain your sense of individuality, uniqueness, but you can also feel connected to the group. And there's strength in that sense of connection and community. May all of life be preserved and protected. May the animals and plants of this world, the beautiful forests and rivers and streams, be preserved and protected. May peace prevail on earth. You squeeze the hands to either side of you, and you let your hands drift down now so that your palms are on the earth, and you feel your love of the earth. May the land be blessed. May this land be blessed. May all life be blessed. May my life be blessed. And as you do that, you imagine your hands moving up to your heart. So you're placing the palms of your hands on your heart. And you might like to do this physically now, moving your hands. So your hands are over your heart. You can feel the warmth from your hands flowing into your heart. As you do this, your awareness of the physical body starts to grow strong. As your awareness of being in the sacred grove begins to fade. And as it begins to fade, you start to become aware of the four walls around you, the floor beneath you, and the ceiling above you. You become aware of being seated in front of your screen, fully present here and now. You take in a breath, release the breath, stretch your fingers and toes, and when you feel ready, you open your eyes. So, thank you so much for being with us, Mo and Wesley. Thank you so much for this lovely project you've initiated. And I really look forward to seeing the autumn equinox soap now as autumn comes around. And then, of course, the winter solstice one. So thank you so much. And thank you to everybody for being in this Tea with the Druid. It's been lovely. And I look forward to seeing you again next week. Bye, everyone. Much love.